welcome to Lincoln Way Central's Heat of the Night, where we tackle 4 wings and 4 questions. I'm Katie O'Connell from the PPS Department, and I'm sitting in today as the guest host with somebody very special who we have here. She is one of the hardest working, most dedicated people in our building. She is our PPS Director, our senior class sponsor, former college counselor, former teacher of the year, somebody who is also at the dawn of retirement. And so we are relishing our last months with Miss Janet Reis.
Thank you so much. What a nice introduction.
How do you do with the spice?
Oh, I love spice. Yeah, very much all about hot
Okay,
food.
so we're all good here.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, then we are going to get started.
Great.
All right, so.
Is this where we start?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, nope.
Nope.
Down here. We start here. All right. And they say we cheers first. That's what the real host does. Okay. So, Janet, you have been at Lincoln Way for over 25 years, in education for over 30.
Yep.
And as you approach retirement and reflect on all of the things that you've done, I mean, you truly have been a part of so many things around our building. From general counselor, you started prior to being in our building. You started as a teacher. You were at Stagg High School in the beginning for your first 7 years, I think. And then you made your way over here. You were counseling, eventually college counseling. And now you are the woman behind any email that our community gets regarding testing, scheduling, social emotional learning. So you've had your hands in just about everything over your time. What would you say is some of the biggest things that you've seen change over the years in education?
That's a great question. And as I approach retirement, I think it's something I've thought a lot about, because you kind of reflect back. You reflect on all the years and everything you've done. And what strikes me when I think about that is I think more has stayed the same than actually changed. And I don't think people view it that way because we tend to focus in on all the changes. But truly, I think kids are still kids and adults are still adults. I think that probably we focus in way more on social emotional learning than we ever did in the past, because it was much more like come to school and learn this and get out sort of situation, where now we truly take the whole person into account, which I think is fantastic.
And I think sometimes in our offices we hear a lot about, we say like times are different, kids are different, technology is different, and it's not to say that those aren't the things, but it's that our world is different, right? I mean,
when technology has changed so much.
Correct, definitely.
Yes,
but
sure.
I think I do agree that at the end of the day, teenagers are teenagers.
Right.
Whether it was 1991 when you started or now,
correct,
we are still working with the same audience.
Absolutely, and it's still a difficult time period for some students, and there's still a lot of transition, and that's why we are employed, because we need to help them get to that next step.
And so knowing what you know now after 30 plus years of being in the business, what would be some of your, what would be your hope for future, both learners and educators, right? So those of us who have another 20 years, or, right now you're in the process of getting our class of 2028 ready, right? So what is your hope for all of us who are still here after your retirement?
Well, that's a big question. I would hope that, first of all, for our staff, I guess my thing is to know the importance of our job. Like, it never fails to hit me every day when I come in here that I'm blessed to do what I do, to be in education. And I still think it's one of those jobs that's super important. And I would hope that everyone still views it as very important. What we do is impactful, and so we should never take that lightly. And for students, remain keeping that bar high. I think a lot of times it's easy to make lots of excuses and keep lowering the bar, but I think if you want to be successful in life, you've got to keep raising the bar. And I know our students can do it. They're resilient, they're tough, and we'll help them through the times when maybe we're not feeling as resilient and tough. But that's my hope for the future, that we keep moving ahead in a forward manner that I guess, serves the world.
And I think we definitely have seen that resilience among our students in the last couple of years.
For sure.
After we had a couple years of the remote learning and not as much connection. And I think in these last 2 school years, we've been saying like, we're back, they're back, everyone's back. And we've seen the importance of person-to-person connection, and we've also seen though how important that is for kids.
For sure.
That's for sure. Okay, let's move on to our next wing here.
Great.
And question number 2.
What is this one?
So this is Los Calientes Verde.
Ooh.
Something green.
Let's toast again.
Let's do it.
Okay, not bad. I felt a little heat later, like it hit you a little later.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's not bad at all.
Okay, so you have experienced Lincoln Way kind of from 2 sides during your time here. So you have been here as an educator and an administrator, and you have also had a daughter go through here. So you have Allie. Allie's how old?
She's 21.
21. So Allie graduated from Lincoln Way East and is a recent graduate of the University of Iowa.
She is.
Congratulations. So from your perspective, again, kind of being on both sides of the table, what would be some advice or words of wisdom that you would give to parents in our community who are guiding and helping their children kind of walk through this season of high school and college?
I think the biggest thing, and I had to stop myself often, is that it's their experience, not the parents' experience. So sometimes I think we live vicariously through our children, and we do at times, really through their whole lives. But I think especially in high school, we have such vivid memories of our own high school experience. But our kids' high school experience is going to be totally different, and that's totally okay. They may or may not be an AP honors kid, and that's great. They may or may not be the star athlete, and that's still okay. So let them find their niche, let them find what makes them happy, let them find a balance, and separate out what you want because you're reliving your past and what you think is healthy and good for your child.
Which I know can be hard. My kids are young, and I feel that, right? We want to be quick to do things for them, or we think that we know what's best for them, but they want something else. And I think that probably only gets harder as your kids get older.
Well, and it's interesting because I think high school kids probably need more supervision than younger students. And so I also think it's important to remember who the parent is. You know what I mean? Like, I am very good friends with my daughter now, but I can't say that I was good friends with her in high school, nor should I have been.
Yeah.
She needed a parent, not a friend.
Sure.
And so I think that's important, just to know that they're really truly looking for our guidance and us to be an important adult in their life.
Although they won't always say that, right?
No,
we always say,
I don't believe I heard that.
We always say in PPS that although they won't say it, kids do love boundaries.
They do.
Right? Boundaries are healthy. They
Everyone
need
loves boundaries.
Yes.
My joke is I would do 100 miles an hour down Route 45 if there was no boundaries. So, there is, and I follow it all the time.
Truly. All right. So thank you for that. We are going to move on to question number 3.
What's this bad boy?
Let's see. We have Rojo. So now we're on to the same brand, Los Calientes, but red.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
No.
I think they went easy on us.
I think they did.
Which is great.
I'm getting that vibe.
We're not complaining there. Okay, so let's talk a little bit specifically about Lincoln Way Central PPS department. It is no secret that it is a special place. I think, so when I started here 15 years ago as a teacher, it was just always known that our PPS department is wonderful. And it really is, right? It is filled with so many hardworking, well-intentioned people who just care about one another and care about kids. So it is no doubt a great place to come every day. So thinking back into your experience specifically with PPS as a counselor, and then you were our college counselor for over 10 years, and then you in 2020 came over as our director.
Who does that in COVID?
I mean, it was a ride for you. What would you, as you approach retirement, what would you identify as some of your best memories?
Well, first I would say that who gets to come to work with your best friends? And truly, I mean, these including yourself, are some of my very closest friends. And so I feel so blessed every day that I get to do that. Like, that's so unheard of. And I work with such amazing people that are so competent in their jobs. Everyone's completely different, which is actually what I love. We all have our own strengths. But I just think back on, honestly, the things we laugh about and the silly things we've said, and I don't know, just the things we've done, like just as a group of humans, aside from counseling. I'm so proud of everything we've accomplished, for sure. But also just, I just laugh about so many things that I can't talk about in this program. Just things we've laughed about and joked about.
Well, and I think that is one thing about our department is we have a lot come our way.
Yes.
Whether that be on the daily in supporting students and families and teachers, or also we have also like district initiatives that come our way, right? And I think that one thing is we truly all do it with a smile, and like we have each other to lean on and laugh with.
We have a good balance.
Yes,
we work super hard, but yet we support each other and we laugh because we have to. That's our way of distressing and taking care of ourselves. But I couldn't be more proud of everyone I work with and just all we accomplished. There's nothing I've ever asked of the group where everyone wasn't like, sure, what do we have to do? How do we do it? Let's figure it out. And we just come together. I love the island in our office because it's the meeting point. Like, I'll start working on something or you'll start working on something and everyone comes out and is like, hey, what are you working on? How can I help? What do you need? We always have each other's backs. 24/7. And I just think that is just unheard of. I'll never, ever be able to duplicate that type of environment.
Truly.
Nor would I even try.
And I do think, and whether you've been in the department for 30 years or 5 or 6 years, it is truly something where it's the day to day in there that I would say is where like that really positive memory would come.
The collaboration,
the camaraderie.
Yes.
For sure.
So many stories, so many.
For sure. It's not, I feel like for us, it actually reminds me of like back in college, like I'd be so excited for a break to end because I wanted to go back and see my college friends, or like, I missed being at school. I get that feeling at the end of our breaks where I'm like, man, I really miss my people. Like, I know this is nice to be home, but when you are with somebody or with this group of people day after day, it becomes a little tough. I think we miss each other.
Well, it's interesting because I planned a vacation for August 1st purposely because I know that time is going to be difficult where I'm going to be thinking about not coming back here. But my whole being is going to be like, well, I should be going back.
Yeah.
And
you're trained.
Again, not just my job. I love my job, but the people. And so I think it for my own mental health.
Yes, it's smart.
It's smart that I will not be in this state.
Yeah. Where are you going? Mexico.
Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii.
I'm taking my daughter to Hawaii.
Right.
So we love to travel. We're big travelers. And so we've gone to Europe and we're going to go back to that as well. I won't have to pay high prices any longer because I can go at different times of the year.
Yes.
But, so we're going to Hawaii, and I think it'll be super healthy for me to be gone during that time period.
Yes.
So
definitely, for sure. It's a transition.
Oh, well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, last one here.
Good. Is this gonna...
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah, that one's a little hotter. They got us at the end.
Okay. So.
Yep.
Okay, so Janet, you have called Lincoln Way Central home for a long time.
Yep.
We just got done talking about how like not only do we physically come to this building, but for us, we are very blessed. So we are truly surrounded by people who feel like family to us.
Oh, for sure.
So from your years in counseling until now, as a part of our administrative team, I know this is bad. We're going to keep pushing. It's going to be great. So you've been on our administrative team now for 3 or 4 years, and your involvement in our building has stretched far beyond PPS at this point.
Yes, I'm blessed actually.
Yes, and so you have your hands in a lot more than what you once did, and I think with that you've worked with a lot of new people and had a lot of new experiences. You've also become a rock to many. You are the rock to all of us. The voice of reason for so many of our staff and our students. And thinking about kind of like your daily routine and your day-to-day here, what you do, and how Lincoln Way has kind of become integrated into who you are, what would you say as we approach May, and then again kind of in August when you're not returning, what will be the hardest, what's the hardest idea to leave behind?
Well, once I can feel my face again, I think I love and I hate a schedule. I love a schedule because it just, you know exactly what's going to happen, right? But I hate a schedule because the people that know me know I get up very early in the morning. And I have a whole routine, right? I think I will miss that, but I will also miss that here. I think part of being a good administrator is that you're pretty confident in your abilities. And though I may not be as confident in all of the abilities of my life, I feel pretty confident here.
Sure.
And so I think I will really miss being part of that team.
Well, I think there's comfort that comes with knowing that you're doing something that makes you feel good and competent and right? Like,
yeah, and you feel like you're making a difference.
Yes.
So I will definitely have to find other avenues to make a difference. But I will truly miss working with our current administrative team. We are all very close and we work very well together. And they all give you a sense of importance. Like, you truly do matter. Your vision really matters. Your opinion really matters. I'll miss that. I mean, it's just a human nature thing. I mean, you can call it ego, you can call it whatever you want.
Well, I think that also speaks for, and we're biased because we work here and we love this place, but
yes,
I think that if we didn't have this administrative team and this team of people who oversee our building, who do work together and value one another's opinions, right? Like, and hear what we have to say from PPS standpoint, from discipline standpoint, etc., then this place would not be as special as it is, right?
Well, and that's the bottom line. I love this place. I've spent the majority of my career here, and I care deeply about its success and the people in it. When I think of our staff, and I have stories about so many people that are so amazing and probably go unnoticed most of the time because truly for them it's just doing their job. But we just have a magical place here, and I want that to continue, which it will, because truly, if you know me, you know my motto is all of us are replaceable.
I know you say that, Janet.
It's so true. No, it is 100% true. We are all replaceable. This place will go on just wonderfully even without me, even though that's hard to accept sometimes.
It's hard to accept. It is.
But I truly know that's the case.
And I know that's something that constantly comes up in our, in our department meetings and in our world, is that this place is just truly made of so many great people, and that does make everything work well. And you're right. Like, it will all go on for sure. But I do
only
think
a text away.
You're only many texts.
It won't cost much.
But I also think that and I hope you feel the same, that you've definitely left your mark. That there have been so many things, and I was lucky enough to come into counseling from teaching, and you were my mentor, and I've always learned so much about counseling from right beneath under you, and then you as our director. I just think we've all learned a lot of tools from you that we will be able to keep carrying while you're in Hawaii, and
I feel the
doing
same.
Retirement life.
I think we learn from each other.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you for doing this and having these conversations. I don't think that we will be purchasing the last dab at our next grocery trip.
Well, if I might actually. I kind of like it.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, it does.
So enjoy these next couple months. I know we will. We will just be relishing you and hugging you until
we're going to celebrate.
We are. There will be great celebration.
Yes, there will.
For sure.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.